Hey everybody, welcome back to another time lapse. I'm playing as Manchukuo, and this time lapse I'm doing the old Qing path. I've seen a lot of YouTubers do a lot of other the other paths. I played a game as Mao in the new DLC. No Compromise, No Surrender just came out, and I think it's pretty good overall. I think it's pretty good. I was trying to get a couple games in just to see if there was any sort of time lapse I can make out of it, but my first Republic of China game, it just kind of grinds to a halt. You know what I mean? Which was cool, but I wasn't doing that well, admittedly. And then I played as People's Republic of China, which was really cool. I think it was really fun overall. And I'm not really talking about the gameplay as much right now. I'm talking about the DLC overall. I think it's pretty good overall. I haven't played as Japan yet, really. I played a little bit as them, but I'm playing as Manchukuo. I know they updated some of their paths, because some people say, they haven't been updated, but they got a democratic and a communist path now, which, you know what, because I already have the save file, in 1937, I'll probably go in and do those paths, or at least the democratic path. That seems more interesting. Let's see here. The new doctrines, I think I finally figured it out with this run. I think Grand Battle Plan is probably the best doctrine. It gives you, a lot of planning bonuses, and then there's another the sub doctrine for the infantry. You want to go with large scale assaults. If you're doing an infantry build, if you're doing a tank build, I don't know. I didn't do a tank build this time around, but if you're going with infantry, you want to do large scale assaults. And then for operations, I forgot what I chose exactly. Just whatever gives you the most infantry buffs. Support artillery is still better than line artillery, and you really want to get the large scale infantry attacks or whatever, just because it decreases infantry combat width, and that really helped me out here. I kind of forgot how overpowered this path is. If you really max it out, you get 20 free factories, 15,000 guns, 100 planes, once you go through all the events. And I mean, it was kind of crazy. It was really overpowered. I think it's a lot easier. I tried going through the democratic path real quick, and then I took a step back. I was like, I need to play the DLC a bit more, before I do this one, just because, I mean, it doesn't give you any of those buffs. That's all I'm going to say. It doesn't give you any extra factories, no extra infantry equipment, really. But this wasn't too bad. This was a pretty fun playthrough. At the end there, you'll see what happens at the end, but, it's pretty fun going up against the Japanese and the Chinese. And I do think the Chinese, I think they're well designed. People say, they're too easy to run over, but, I mean, I think, for the first part of the war, you are supposed to pretty easily run them over. And then they have all these cliques, they make a lot of small divisions, the Republic of China and all of the warlords. And I think that really fits in with how it should be designed, because it's really hard to push. You have little supply, and that's a lot of the challenges that the real Japanese faced. And I think the design for China is also good. It's hard to push back against the Japanese. You have to hold them for quite a while, and you really have to focus on just not letting them get a naval invasion in, which is super important. I think the Mao path was also really well designed. I like the little mechanics they have, so you can flip territory right before the Civil War. The only thing I'll say is that when you do start the Chinese Civil War, the Republic of China just joins the Allies. And, I did end up capitulating them and founding the People's Republic of China, but I was like, this just isn't, it doesn't feel complete enough, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll probably put that out in a separate video real quick, though. Any other thoughts on the DLC, really? Oh, I think also the footage got corrupted for that, too. I tried putting it in the editor, and it freaked out, so I won't be doing that no more. Let me see here. I don't know. I mean, you really have to focus on keeping out their naval invasions and stuff. And, oh yeah, I think the Qing, their, little peace deal thing doesn't work properly. You don't white peace China, so I had to go in through here and I had to like do the white piece myself, and then I transferred over the states I had occupied to which was pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. You see me doing that. Those were the states I'd occupied, so I was just taking what I was owed, basically. Anything else other than that, really, about the DLC? I haven't really gone into the Navy stuff at all yet. I don't know how people feel about the Navy stuff yet. I know people don't really care about Navy usually. I know there's one guy, I forget his name, he does a lot of Navy videos in Hearts of Iron 4, and it's really cool to see him do that, but it's just not usually worth the investment. You know, if you can get naval superiority, that's cool. But most of the time, it's just easier to do paratroopers. See here, any other thoughts on the DLC? I think they added a lot of cool little paths for the warlords. Or just like a few little Easter eggs, like the Northeastern Army, the clique. Somebody already made a video of that. I was thinking maybe I should make a video of it, but somebody already done it. You know what? I think I will make a video of that. It's pretty easy to beat the Chinese though. After like the first war, you just kind of rush in on them. You know, the Japanese, they have a lot more trouble just because hang on. They don't have as much supply range. You get a lot of good advisors and generals as Manchuria. You get like this guy that gives you a 15% attack bonus against major countries. That's pretty good. But I don't know. At least this Manchuria is pretty easy to roll him over. You do get a lot of good advisors. You get there's like a plus 10% supply range advisor as well, and a good infantry advisor, which is also pretty good. You just get a lot of buffs as the Qing Empire. I think they make it a lot easier. I know they had an update a long time ago where they made it a lot easier. Well, no, it was just as fun as ever. It's been updated as well. You know, the white piece thing doesn't really work, but that's fine. You know. Let me think here. I don't know. I start trying to integrate my puppets. I don't end up getting around to that, really. You know, I was thinking I'll go all the way. I'll get the Chinese Empire, and you just need control of all of your cores and stuff. But, you know, you can see in the background the Soviets are beating the Germans, and the Allies are beating the Germans. And my cores are controlled by Qing, is in the Comintern. So I'd have to go to war with the Allies and also with Qing just to beat him. And to the Comintern, as well as Japan again, because they also control Taiwan. But they gave me a white piece later, and so it's not that bad, I guess. I don't know, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier than the democratic and communist paths. And, you know, at the end there, I just didn't really want to go through that. You know, I got all of my cores. I got Hong Kong, I control Macau and Taiwan and all that stuff. And, you know, I start getting into the Air Force. I start looking at all the other doctrines. Because, you know, they didn't just redo the Army doctrines, which is, you know, the most important doctrine. They redid all of the other ones. And I'll have to take a closer look at those. I usually just play submarines, but, I mean, I don't think you can do that anymore if you want to get naval superiority. Also, yeah, I sent my my paratroopers over there because I had military access to them, but then I didn't. So then they were just kind of stuck over there, so I teleported them back. Just because I didn't want it to break, you know? And I spent all that time doing that. I didn't want to spend any more time on it, because at this point, it's just kind of waiting around. The fun part of it is kind of over, you know? And it wouldn't be fun to fight against the Allies. I'd have to go all the way over to Europe. I'd have to fight Russia through Siberia. And, but I don't know. I think they give a lot of buffs to Qing China at the beginning, which might be a little too overpowered. Might make that first part too easy. But I guess, you know, that's kind of ironic, because I'm complaining about this end part, forming the Chinese Empire, being too hard. But that's just the way it is. So I stopped the time lapse here, just because, you know, I've taken control of everything. You know, I want to take a look around at the end of the world. I have to own, it says control, but, you know, it says those states right there, but, you know, apparently that's all of my cores. So I misread the prerequisites wrong. Yeah, I forgot that the map mode for cores and stuff, cores and claims, is only in, like, Kaiser Redux or something. Why not? Maybe I'll play as Qing or something. I don't know. But overall, the Allies won in Europe. The Americans, interestingly enough, never joined the Allies because they never went to war with Japan. Japan stayed non-aligned the whole time, maybe because they weren't successful enough in China. And I'm pretty sure I had it on historical AI as well. And I definitely had on historical AI. And yeah, there's the world at the end right there. The eyes are pretty big, Comintern pretty big. I mean, America, they've been doing nothing this whole game. It's 1944 and nothing's been going on. They haven't even... I don't think they split off from the Allies after the war either. Like, they go back into the American Commonwealth. I think usually during the war they take over. But, pretty soon, if I can fix the PRC recording, then I'll do that. And if I can fix the Mao recording, then I can do that. If I can fix the PRC recording, then I'll upload it. And then I'll probably do the democratic path for Manchukuo. So, let me know down in the comments what y'all want me to do next. And yeah, that's about it. I think overall I like the new DLC. It's not too fun fighting in Asia. Never fight a land war in Asia, but that's the way it is. And I think it's very true to real life. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.